Howdy, 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 guys. I hope y'all are doing fantastic. Welcome to Cliff Notes Live. Welcome to October. This year has gone so fast. It's incredible. I hope y'all are all doing fantastic. Man, I came in tonight saying, what are we going to talk about? We've been so busy with Big Brother for the last 3 months. And now it's just, I don't know, it's like summer vacation when I was back in school. Some of y'all can relate to that, right? You put in so much hard work during the year. That first week after school, you're just like, wow, now I got all this free time. What in the heck am I going to do with it? So, of course, first thing I think of is Monday Night Cliff Notes Live, getting to talk about all kinds of stuff with y'all. Big Brother or anything else, it's kind of an open book, open topic night. So whatever y'all got in mind, we'll talk about. Now, before I go any further, yeah, I didn't forget. Let me give a big old SKD 143. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love reality TV fans. Especially love you guys that are out here this evening, either watching live or watching on replays at some later point. I don't want to forget about y'all either. So welcome to all of y'all. Just kind of fun way to kick off a Monday evening. So hope y'all are all doing fantastic. Now, seems like last week I got so into reading out everyone is here. It took me forever. So I'm going to go ahead and do it right now while I got a manageable list. I just want to see what my friends are doing out there. Marilyn Sutherland, welcome. Number one, Paula Scarswell, Anthony Stike, alive again. Well, Anthony, that's always good to hear. I appreciate it and welcome back. Brian Hostetler, hey, it's Brian, how are you doing? Kiki as well. Happy Monday to you also. Cindy Hire, Ma's angry. Let me point out real quick. I think I may have left someone out last week or a week or two ago. Brian and Ma and Cindy, all three are moderators for me. You know, every once in a while we get one of those little trolls out here. I never have figured out what their deal is, but we get a troll out here every once in a while, and those three kind of keep an eye on things and take care of business when business needs to be taken care of. So thank y'all, all three y'all. Appreciate it. Let's see. Marilyn mentioned, yeah, I don't mind mentioning it again. Jake the Horror Movie Geek. Perfect time of the month or perfect time of the year, right? It's like Jasmine's birthday. Halloween isn't just one day. It's the Halloween month, right? So Jake, hey, I will get some horror movie suggestions from you at some point this evening. Zachary Wise, howdy, Zachary. How are you doing? And let's see, Keith Franken as well. Hey, Keith. Andy W out there. Maintenance Chick, Chaz, D. Ellis, Michelle Tuller, and let's see, Patty Bell as well. Hey, Patty, how are you doing? I got a question you asked last week. I'm gonna try to bring it up because I just didn't have time last week to mention. And Charity Whitman. All right, Charity, welcome to you as well. I hope y'all are all doing fantastic. Now, I get so busy with Big Brother during the season that we just jump right into it, right? I mean, 3 minutes in, and we're talking about all about the Big Brother season, and I'm ready to talk about some more. How did y'all enjoy the season? I enjoy. I think I said before, even last week, I felt like Michael won so many competitions. It kind of limited us being able to watch some of the others and how they did playing their games. So that was the part I didn't really enjoy as much, just because he was so dominant. But you know, it is what it is. It's been fun watching Big Brother after the thing finished up, after it wrapped up. I gotta say, it is so nice not having to stay up till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning watching these knuckleheads eating dinner at 3:30 in the morning and trying to see if it's worth, taking notes and everything as they're talking about. I don't have to worry about that anymore here for a little while, but it's also been fun watching the stories develop after they got out of the house, right? I'm so naive. I did Big Brother. I thought, all right, I'll do Big Brother. Then I'll get back and I'll hang out for a week or so, talk about it. And then I'll go back to work and I'll be just Cliff again, right? It doesn't quite work that way. It's such a big part of people's lives for so long every summer that when people get out, there's a little decompression time that's involved, not just for us house guests, but for people who watch it as well. And I'm watching that on Twitter and Instagram, all that. Everyone following around all these house guests, everywhere they go, everything they do. And it's kind of funny. They all have hung out at Todrick's house. Remember Todrick from Celebrity Big Brother? And even before that, he was a huge Big Brother fan. Did y'all know? I'm getting off on a tangent, but just so you know, I worked at Six Flags Over Texas in high school. I worked in gifts and souvenirs. I sold the souvenirs and managed stores, things like that. But I worked at Six Flags Over Texas. Do you know who else worked at Six Flags Over Texas? Todrick. Yeah, Todrick and I both worked at Six Flags. He worked right across from one of the shops that I was at. So who would have thunk it? But everyone's always been staying at Todrick's house. We didn't do that during my season. He is really the cookout and onwards that he's been doing a lot of that. But everyone hanging out at Todrick's house. I don't know how they do it. I was so ready to get back to my family after doing that show. We spent a couple of days out in LA. We went to Venice Beach. We saw the La Brea Tar Pits. We went down Hollywood Avenue, or the big one with Grumman's Chinese Theater on. We did all the touristy stuff. And then I came back home. I was ready to get me some Whataburger and get back to Texas and family and all that. These guys are just hanging around forever out in Los Angeles, enjoying everything they can while they can, which, more power to them. I did see him go on the Love Boat, the new Love Boat, which I guess is a show coming up on Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday on CBS. It's not a plug. I noticed him doing that. I think kind of cool. I can't think of Love Boat without just singing the song in my head. Love, exciting and new. That was part of my growing up. Man, Charlie's Angels, The Love Boat, Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, Fantasy Island. There's a night of viewing entertainment for you, my friends. So anyway, again, I got off on a tangent, but I thought that was kind of fun watching them all run around doing all their stuff. All right, a few questions as we get into it. Patty Bell, I told you I'd come back to this question, Patty. Who do you think could come back and win another season of Big Brother if they got invited back? And I think you'd said originally, except for Michael. And I think that's a good qualifier because obviously Michael, if they have an all-star season, they would bring him back, right? I would expect them to. And I think there'd be a good chance that he could win, except for the fact if they bring me back the same season as Michael, I'm going to be in there and I'm going to be saying that first thing we got to do is get rid of Michael. That guy, the last thing I want to do is have him straggle along and potentially winning again or winning all his competitions. So I have a feeling he would have such a huge target on his back. He could easily be a first boot just because he's so dangerous. But I still think it's valid to think that he could win it again. A couple of the people I think that would do well from this season, Joseph is probably my next best guess. He didn't really win any competition. Did he win any? I don't remember if he won any by himself, but he had such a good social game. He was friendly with everyone. Look at it now. Everyone's loving on Joseph and everything. So I think he did a great job of protecting himself in the house, never making himself a huge target until that Dryer Fest, right, came in. That kind of really screwed up his game. But yeah, other than that, I think Joseph would have done fantastic. He was playing a double agent and all of that. I could see him coming back in, playing another season and absolutely dominating and doing well. Who else would I think of? Amira, maybe. I thought she was a little too cocky at the beginning, and that doomed her game. She got too confident that she knew everything that was going on when she really didn't. I have a feeling she'd come back into the season a little less cocky about playing the game, which would probably work better for her. But I don't know. I think Joseph and Michael are probably really almost the only two that I would say could come back and do well. Kyle, I thought strategically he had a good game, was playing good, but with the controversy around him and all that, he'll never volunteer to come back in. I don't think he'd get invited back in either. So I'll leave him out. So I'm going to leave it just Joseph and Michael as my two all-star picks going forward. We'll see. I'd love to play the game with either one of them. Again, I'd try to be best buddies with Joseph. I'd try to boot Michael as soon as I could just because, different ways the game's played between the two of them. All right, let's see. What else do we have on here? Andy W. saying, now loving Survivor and Amazing Race. Oh, me too. It's great. And I'm not covering Amazing Race. I thought about it. I just didn't have enough time. I'm covering Survivor. So I'm really trying to pay attention to that. And I don't know. Y'all tell me, do y'all want spoilers on those shows or not so much? Tonight, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to spoil it for anyone else. But that was the Survivor was fun with immunity idols. I like the fact that Survivor goes out of their way. They've done this for the past few seasons seasons, they go out of their way not to show us what actually is going to happen. There was some stuff last week, and again, I don't want to spoil it, but an immunity idol, and did the person get what they needed to get in order to get protection and all? You don't know until you get in. And I was on the edge of my seat watching that thing and really wondering what was going to happen. It was fun. I love the Survivor episode, and Amazing Grace. Amazing Race. It's just one of my all-time favorites. I love traveling around the world so much. So when I see him doing it as part of a reality show, it's just so cool. And Chaz mentions about Claire yodeling. I tell you what, that was hard. That was so yeah, Chaz said, was anyone else losing their minds when Claire was struggling yodeling? There's things that they do on that show. It's kind of like when I did Big Brother. I went in there thinking, all right, mental competitions. I think I'm going to be okay on those. Physical competitions, I'm going to give it my best, but we'll see how we go. And then one of the first challenges, once the first comps I get in there, is smell-o-vision, is the whacktivity, where we had to smell all the horrible things. It's like, come on, guys, though. I don't have much of a sense of smell. The one thing that y'all asked me to do that I know I'm going to be horrible at, it's the same way with Amazing Race. Some of those challenges that they have to do on there, I'm always curious to see how I would do. The yodeling. I feel like I would have been okay with the yodeling. Certainly a lot better than Claire was. She had a hard time. For those of you who haven't seen it, you had to repeat the yodeling that these German yodelers. What a job. Are there people over in Germany that they're on Indeed or LinkedIn? And yeah, I'm a professional yodeler. That's what I do for a living. We've got professional auctioneers over here, so I'm sure you've got yodelers over there. I don't know. What's a yodeler do if it's not to hang out with the tourists? Do they call sheeps in or something? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they communicate with each other. Is there like a yodelers convention where everyone just walks around all day? That'd be right up there with a mime convention of probably getting you a little irritated pretty quick. But yeah, Claire had such a hard time with the yodeling. And I watch that show, and all I can think is, man, there was another section where you either had to ring bells or you had to do a little dance that involved hitting the bottom of your heels and all that. At first, I thought the bells would be much tougher than the dancing and everything. Then I started seeing the dancing, thought, that looked a little tough. But my lovely wife, Sharon, who is certainly the dancer in the family, and she pointed out to me, said, no, it's just a day count. That'd be easy. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you repeat it. So I watched that little bit of the episode and going, counting in my head, 1, 2, 3. And suddenly it looked pretty easy. So yeah, it was, those are the things I'd worry about. I can just picture me going on the Amazing Race with, throw someone out, a Cat Dunn or someone. And I'm out there doing it and eating the big old T-bone steaks or whatever. I got that, Cat. Don't worry about it. And then they'd bring me in to do some kind of fancy dancing choreography. And I'd be, I'd be like Claire. I'd be stuck there for 20 hours straight trying to do the choreography. But yeah, that was fun. I had a lot of fun watching that episode. I see, because I do so much Twitter and social media or Twitter and Instagram, all that. I saw a lot of people talking about the Amazing Race Australia. And so I'm actually going to go out there and see if I can find that on some weird website somewhere. I'll figure out if I can do it. But yeah, I'd love to watch Amazing Race from other countries. Angie Hung had told me at one point, check out Amazing Race Canada. And I've watched some of those, and that's pretty cool. The one I watched was right around COVID time, because it seems like they stayed in Canada the whole time, which is kind of cool because I've been in Alberta and I've been in Newfoundland on the far East Coast, but I really haven't done anything except those two areas in Canada. So yeah, it was kind of a huge advertisement for the country that was fun to watch. But I'm gonna do the same thing with Australia. I cannot get enough reality TV. It can be the most obscure from some foreign country, the most little peculiar little twist or whatever. I'll watch it. If it's reality TV, I'll watch it. So yeah, it's on my agenda. As I always say, I'll put it on the list. All right, what else do we have on here? Let's see. Cindy saying, rooting for Claire and Derek X. Yeah, me too. I got to cheer for my Big Brother family, right? And they did fantastic on the first leg. Not so much on the second leg, but that's all right. Yeah, I hope they do well. I'm looking forward. They were not at Hearts of Reality last December, so they're one of only a couple of people from last season's Big Brother that I haven't had a chance to meet yet. I hope they show up this season, this winter over in Orlando, because I'd love to say hi to them and all that. So yeah, yeah, I'm cheering for them as well, Cindy. Moss saying, what do you think of the Kyle curse? 3 Canada and 1 US Kyle, and they're all cursed. Yeah, I do. Kyle up in Canada. What, the last 2 seasons there's been a Kyle, right? I don't know. It's interesting. You have certain names that just show up over and over in Big Brother. You know, up in Canada, you've had a few Kyles. Down here in the United States, what are the most popular names? And I haven't looked this up. I'm just guessing most popular names of people being on Big Brother probably would be Brittany, Nicole. Seems like we've had both a bunch of those, but yeah, I guess put enough Kevins in there, and eventually you'll get one of them to win. I don't know. It's not quite the curse of being the first to walk in the door or anything else, but we'll see. Ijiro Karishima. I hope I pronounced that. I tried. Where would you put Big Brother 24 as a season? Oh, you know what? I'd probably put somewhere in the middle. Here's what I liked about it. I liked that there wasn't just a single power structure throughout the season. You had the girls and Paloma's pack, posse, whatever they call it. You had that group that seemed like they were going to be in control to start with. And then suddenly you had the leftovers, which were basically the underdogs. They jump in, they take control. But then within the leftovers, you knew that the guys were kind of on a separate group as opposed to Taylor and Michael and Brittany. They were so you could see some divisions occurring within the group, and so I like the fact that there wasn't just one dominant group throughout the whole season that kept control. Now the leftovers did pretty good at the end. I like that part. As I said earlier, I didn't like the fact that Michael won so much that I don't think we got to see as much play from the other players in the house. So that was a disappointing part. The other part of it as well, as much fun as it was to watch a few episodes, a few of the live episodes and evictions and all of that. And there were certainly periods where I just think, oh, come on, win this thing, and really invested in certain people. And it changed from week to week. So there was a lot of that. There was also some real stress this season, just outside issues getting in the way of pure Big Brother play. And sometimes that happens, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Some of the extra stuff that took place that made it a lot more stressful and made me just really empathize with some of the people in the house. So I'm going to get it. I think last week I said maybe a B. I can't remember. And I'll keep about the same, maybe a B minus, something like that. I think it's one of the better seasons. Certainly better than, last season. The cookout was so dominant that really until you got to the final 6, it wasn't that exciting because we knew who the final 6 was going to be. It seemed like the season before with All Stars, I don't know. I didn't really, I thought there was too much pre-gaming that took place before they ever got in the house. So I didn't really feel like that was a fair season. This season was much better than both of those. So I'm going to put it in the upper half of all the seasons. Again, Michael maybe was so dominant it took away from some of the others somewhat. There you go. What do y'all think? I mean, did y'all enjoy the season? Was it something y'all liked, or did y'all just not really? Are you waiting for better next year? Because there's always next year, right? I've heard so much stuff about second chances, all these different twists. I'm not sure Big Brother even knows what they're going to do yet. That's a long way away. We'll find out. All right, Paula Scar saying, if you were Monty, who would you have taken to the end? Well, hindsight's 2020. You really would have had to count the votes. I think I would have taken Turner for a variety of reasons. But then again, I didn't have the attachment to Taylor that Monty had. That created a whole different wrinkle, right? But I don't know. I feel like if I'm Monty, I'm feeling like I can probably steal credit, and maybe it's not stealing credit, but I can at least claim partial credit for some of the stuff that Turner did. For instance, getting Michael out. Man, if I'm in there, I'm saying, Turner had some say in it, but but I'm the one that led the way. I'm the one that won the veto and all that. So it wasn't just Turner. I get responsibility or credit for that as well. And I feel like I would have looked at Turner and said, well, he's not going to get Jasmine's vote. If he doesn't get Jasmine's vote, Jasmine may convince Indy also to not vote for Turner. And so I think counting the votes and everything may have worked. And if you take Turner, you get rid of the gender differences, which is something you got to keep in mind, right? I mean, there would have been even more women on the jury if you'd kept Turner and sent Taylor out the door. But even as it was, there are more women on the jury, and you got to think about that. And so, yeah, there's a lot of reasons. But again, it's easy for me to say now, but I really thought he would take Turner. And I think I said on this, on my reviews, even leading up to it, I thought if he was going up against Taylor, my bad, because I thought Monty would still win, but I said he was just going to squeak by with like a 5-4 vote. But I thought Monty would dominate the vote versus Turner, that he would win, with Turner only getting maybe 1 or 2 votes. And I kind of still feel that way. So, yeah, I would have taken Turner. But again, it's easy to say at this point. What a lot of people don't realize, you get in there, you make friends, relationships, you're relying only on partial information. You listen to people counting their jury votes and counting other people's jury votes. It's hard to make a decision with any certainty. And then you start having your emotional relationships, making it even more complicated. And I think some of that happened. Here's the big question, and I'll ask y'all because I don't know the answer. If Monty and Taylor had not hooked up, if they hadn't gotten as friendly as they did with each other, do you think he would have taken her? Was that a result of that, a side effect of it? Because I'm not saying that it was done for that reason. I think they just, things happen there. But if that hadn't happened, would Monty have taken Turner, or would he have still taken Taylor? And I don't know. I really don't know. All right. Let's see. What else do we have on here? Deb McKernan. Sorry about that. Iowa Grandma. Well, howdy, Iowa, and howdy, Grandma. Deb here. Love Cliff Notes. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Means a lot. Thank you. Thank you for coming on board. I've never been up to Iowa. I watched a football game with Iowa State this weekend. Does that count? Yeah, probably not. I'd love to get up there. I think it'd be a lot of fun. All right. Anna Martin saying, do you know who is going to be on Celebrity Big Brother this year? No, and I doubt that they know either. I'm not sure how Celebrity works versus regular Big Brother, but even regular Big Brother, they cast way out there, but they don't announce the cast until right before they go in the house, right? I can only imagine with Celebrity Big Brother where you've got people who, I mean, we're all like, yeah, I'll do whatever it takes to get on Big Brother. They know if they offer you this, if you've tried out and you get one of the slots, you're not going to turn them down last minute. Celebrities, that may not be the case necessarily. I got to say, you kind of put your career a little bit at risk. Look at Todrick and Shannon, some of the people from this past season. You've got to be careful when you're already so much in the public eye to go in and expose yourself. I give a lot of props to the celebrities who are willing to do it. But they go in and kind of expose themselves and play the game. And I have a feeling, well, we're talking pretty close. Are they doing a Celebrity Big Brother this season? Y'all tell me. I don't know that they committed to it yet, but could be. I just don't remember hearing anything about it. But I would think Celebrity Big Brother, they're going to not know, and they're not going to commit to anything until the very last second, because you just don't know. I don't know. They may have decided to take a break after last season, because I don't know. Lawrence saying just do the Scaramucci version and do 1 week of Big Brother. Anthony Scaramucci should have never been a house. I still question whether he was just a ringer that they knew was only going to be there for a week, or if he truly was supposed to be playing and then decided once he got in that he wanted no part of it. I don't know. They should have never had him in there in the first place. All right. Mark Taylor, any early Survivor winners? I guess you're talking about predictions. I don't know. I think Omar's interesting to watch. I won't talk as much about winners because I just don't know yet, but I enjoy watching Omar. I enjoy watching Cody. Cody could be one of these dark horses that there's a part of me that thinks he's a little too far out there, and it's going to catch up to him at some point, and he's going to get burned. But he may be one of those that just he's just a free spirited character, and that carries over to the game. And sometimes I think when you go in with a devil be damned kind of attitude, it just works to your advantage. So I could see Cody doing well. I thought Noelle was going to do well. Maybe not so much after this past week in Tribal Council. She's kind of on the short end of it. So I don't know. And we haven't even really seen the Blue Tribe make it to Tribal. So I don't really understand just where those relationships lie with that particular group. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's too early for it. But I will say there's some people in the cast this season that are just fun to watch. Cody and Omar being a couple of them. And I don't know. I'm having fun watching it so far. But it's hard when you've got 3 separate tribes, because just 1 or 2 people that are against you. But you get cut before you really get to interact with everyone else on the season, which makes it a little harder. Survivor's gone from what they were 39 days. Now I think they're down to 29 days or so. 3 tribes of 6. I kind of would be okay if they went back to, I don't know, even if they didn't do 2 tribes, if they did 3 tribes of 7, that's 21 castaways, which sounds like a lot. But you could have 7 people per tribe so that you still have just a little bit bigger group. So you're not as much affected by just 1 or 2 people linking up right at the first. You could still have the same number of episodes. Just have a few more episodes where you have 2 tribal councils instead of 1. I feel like they could make it work and give you a little bit more chance to build a social game with a bigger group of people. Or I don't know, do some tribe swaps. I'd love to see some twists. I don't know, would I? Tribe swaps early in the season. After the first couple of people are gone, you suddenly switch it all around. I think I'd like that as long as it wasn't just a pure random tribe swap, because I'd hate to be the person who felt like I was completely in control of my tribe. You draw buffs and suddenly I'm all by myself with people from 2 other tribes, and through no fault of your own, your game ends. So I'd want to have some way where it wasn't quite that random. But yeah, I'm ready for a few more twists in Survivor, which I don't normally say. I'm kind of old school. I don't like a lot of twists, but I'd like to see more people, even if that means you got to do a few more twists and shake things up a little bit. Who knows? I will say Survivor does a good job about always keeping it fresh. Big Brother, sometimes we see the same stuff over and over again, which I'm not complaining, but I do feel like Survivor is a little bit more innovative sometimes in the twists they do and things like that. All right. Mark and Patty saying, what do you think of the Taylor Joseph connection? And surprised Joseph's not bothered much that Taylor slept with Monty. I don't know, guys. I until I sit down with these people and actually have some conversations and get to know them a little bit better, is Taylor and Joseph a real deal, or are they just kind of enjoying the limelight and smart enough, savvy enough to understand that the 2 of them together make for an even better story than either one of them apart? I don't know. The cynic in me thinks that, yeah, it may just be that they're just, it's not that they're not friends. I think they're very close friends. Enjoyed having each other in the house. I think Taylor probably, she felt like he betrayed her so much. And then to find out that he didn't actually do it, I'm sure that even just pulled them even closer together with one another. And I did hear that, as America's favorite, she gets to take someone on a cruise. And I heard that someone may be Joseph. We'll see if that actually happens or not. But I'm sure they're close friends. Does that translate into something more? I'm not ready to go there just yet. I don't know. And then if that's the case, if this is just kind of taking advantage of all the publicity and all the attention that they're getting, well, if that's the case, then Joseph especially may not care so much about what happened while he wasn't in the house. I don't know. Far be it for me to judge without even completely understanding the circumstances just yet. But I don't know. We'll see. Ask me again in 6 months if there's still an item at that point. Well, then it may be a different discussion. I don't think they will be. Not that they're going to turn on each other or anything. I think they're friends. I just think that I don't know how anyone has any kind of showmance that they think is going to last inside the house, or even with people that you were in the house with. just basing your emotions on what you saw while you're inside the house, because there's just too many people who the way they play the game is so different from who they are as actual people. How do you know? Until you've had a lot of time outside the house. How do you know? So we'll find out. All right. Darlene Warden saying, thought this season wasn't the best, not much gameplay. Fair enough. And Rexy saying, thought the season was good, but a lot of controversy with Kyle. But having the season as top half, that was pretty entertaining. I kind of go along with both of those. Gameplay wise, was there any just hardcore strategy, hardcore flips, or anything else? Not really. I mean, the closest maybe we saw from that was some of Brittany's playing against everyone, or maybe Joseph trying to play both sides. But yeah, I don't know that we saw as much gameplay. You're right, and part of that was because the leftovers were in control as long as they were because of Michael. So yeah, I see your point on that, and I don't disagree. As far as the Kyle controversy and all that, yeah, that it just put a damper on the season because of that. And unfortunately, I think a lot of discussion, picture 3, 4, 5 years from now, a lot of discussion about BB24 is going to be about Taylor, and it's going to be about Kyle, and maybe some of Daniel and some of that as well. But yeah, some negative things that impacted the season. That's unfortunate. I don't like seeing that. It's not going to be remembered for the just amazing gameplay that people, flipped and controlled the game from start to finish, anything like that. It's not a Derek BB16 type of season or anything like that. So it's somewhere in the middle. All right, let's see. Darlene saying production was too manipulative. I'll just leave that right there. I certainly wondered, even during my season, it's like, come on, production, why do you have all these hard physical competitions at the end? Don't you want me to have a chance? So yeah, it's easy while I was in there, and then I get out, and you never know. I think because I know, like Robin Cass, who did the casting, they always ask her, they said, who's your favorite for the season? Who are you cheering for? And she'd always say, they're all my kids. I don't really care who wins. And I've heard Jeff Probst say similar things and all that. So I think in some ways, production doesn't really care. They don't care as much who the winner is, as long as there's a lot of drama and chaos that go along with whoever wins the thing. And I still believe that. But having said that, if production needs to manipulate a little bit to create a little bit more chaos and drama, yeah, I'm not going to put it past them to do it. It's at the end of the day, as much as we're cheering for the gameplay and everything else, they're putting on a TV show. They're getting paid big bucks by CBS to give us the most entertaining product possible. And as such, sometimes if they choose to work with situations, it is what it is. All right. What else do we have on here? Let me see on this. Chaz is saying, what other teams do you like on the race? Like the cheerleaders and military bros? Yeah, I like the military brothers. I think they're a lot of fun. I liked and notice the past tense. I liked who was the football coach? Man, I know his name. I can't even think of it. Rex Tillman, I think. I like their team. Didn't think he's going to get very far. They weren't necessarily my winner's pick, but they were kind of fun watching. But yeah, the military brothers, I've really enjoyed watching them. Just because, I don't know, I guess because I have 3 brothers, and so it's easy for me to see myself in the 2 of them and interacting. It just makes me think how cool it would be to do the Amazing Race with one of my brothers. They talked at one point last week. They're 9 years difference between the 2 of them. I can't remember, but I think the older brother told the younger brother, said, "Oh yeah, I played a musical instrument, the trumpet or something when I was younger." And the younger brother said, "I didn't know that." I kind of feel that way with my 2 youngest brothers, because I'm 9 years older than one brother, 13 years older than the other brother. So I was already out of the house in college, working oil fields, whatever, while they were growing up. So yeah, it'd be kind of fun to do Amazing Race with either one of them, and just spend some quality time doing stuff like that. So yeah, definitely cheering on the brothers. Here's the deal. There's no one, I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anyone this season that I'm actively cheering against, and that's not always the case. There's some seasons where I see it just doesn't seem like they're getting along with each other. I know last season there was a husband and wife, and I just felt like they were kind of mean to each other sometimes, and so I wasn't necessarily cheering for them. I can't say anyone this season I'm not cheering for. Some definitely have a much better chance than others have, but I haven't identified any true villains this season yet. We got plenty of time. I'm sure someone's going to turn on someone else or get a little frustrated, whatever. But yeah, I'm cheering for them all right now. And it's kind of a fun way to watch it. I'm not emotionally invested in any. I was going to say that, but I'm kind of emotionally invested in Claire and Derek and the military guys as well. I want them to do well. I'd love to see them make it to the end. All right, Bing Bong saying, did you see the sneak peek for the next episode? Yeah, but I can't tell me about Bing Bong because I can't remember what it was. It's funny. Sometimes a sneak peek. Sometimes I watch just because, but sometimes I like to just skip right past them so that I'm completely surprised the following week. I watched this week because I remember saying something about it, but it's been almost a week. It skips in my memory. So tell me about Bing Bong. What's the exciting stuff that we're going to see next week? That you're the CBS promo person for this evening. Well, what do we need to be watching for on the Amazing Race? Lawrence Santiago said, would like to see an Amazing Race in the United States. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. And then Survivor should do an all Big Brother season and vice versa. All right, let's talk about the first one, the Amazing Race. I said before, the Canadian one I saw, the most recent one that I saw, I think was all in Canada. I think Australia did something very similar also. There's so much to do here in the United States, right? That'd be fun. They did it before, but was it that family challenge perhaps? There was one season where they had family groups of 4. I don't know if they've done just the United States since then or not. I feel like maybe that's the only time they've done it. It'd be a lot of fun. I would have fun watching that, learn a little bit more about our country as well. But like I said, watch them do the international travel. It's hard though when they first started doing Amazing Race. You were responsible for booking your own airfare. You know, some people would get the connection that went straight. You know, that one changing of planes, but it was only a 30-minute connection time, so there was a risk on that. Someone else would take some other flight that gave them a lot more time, but they got there an hour later, and it was fun watching people take chances and things like that. Well, you can't do that anymore between COVID and security and travel. It doesn't work anymore. So we lost a little bit about that. So you don't see near as much focus on the travel. Nowadays, most of these episodes, they start in the country, they stay in that country, and you don't even really see much in between. So we lost a little bit for that. So yeah, I'd love to see one here in the United States. That'd be kind of fun on that. And the other question, which I can't even, Big Brother. Yeah. Yeah. Send all those Big Brother folks out in the island and make us survive on rice and everything. We'd see how everyone does. And send those Big Brother folks into a house. And they think it'd be easy to be inside, all the food you can eat for the most part and all that. The kind of people that play Survivor, I have a feeling, are not the type of people that are going to do well when they're locked inside a very small area and have no resources outside, nothing to do except hang around and talk to the same people over and over again. I guarantee there are Survivor folks who would absolutely go plumb crazy loco trying to survive with everyone else in there and not having a chance to get outside and get the air and everything else. So yeah, I think not that Big Brother people would do that much better out in the Survivor Island. I feel like I'd do okay. I spent a lot of time outdoors. I think I'd do okay, but without throwing out names, I could certainly think of people during my season and a few of the other seasons who, if they're confronted with sleeping out in the rainstorms, having nothing but rice or a coconut to eat for food day in, day out, they'd never make it out there. And I say, nah, I'm not playing that game. There's not a chance in heck. So yeah, it'd be fun to see how we did against each other. And how interesting would it be if you just took, and I don't think they'll ever do it, but if they just took the entire cast from one season and sent it out the other direction and vice versa. So you get to see season 24. Taylor Hale wins the whole thing. Is Taylor going to win Survivor if she's out eating rice and coconuts and sleeping, under the rainstorms and all of that and having to go fishing and all that? Is she going to win it? Is someone that didn't play a strong game in Big Brother. Are they going to come along? Is Pooch going to win the whole thing? Because suddenly he can build shelters and he can do this, he can do that. It'd be fun to compare the two. Again, I don't think they'd ever bring an entire cast over to the other show or vice versa. We get a mix, all stars or interesting folks, right? But it'd be kind of fun to watch. I'd watch it. Put it on Paramount Plus. Put it on regular TV. I'd watch it. Maybe I need to start my own network. Just come up with all these ideas that y'all guys throw at me. We'll do our own reality TV, and I bet we have a lot of viewers when we do it as well. I have to borrow a little money to build all the stuff over in Fiji and all that, but yeah, we'd make it work. All right, Mark saying, how does production know when to go for the when to go to the we'll be right back? Is there a quota? I don't know. I mean, I've always thought, yeah, I assume you're talking about the live feeds. I've always thought that some of that was because something big was happening, that they want to make sure they get it recorded for the TV episodes, and they don't want us to all see it ahead of time. Because sometimes there'll be some big conversation of, oh, I'm going to go talk to so-and-so and we're going to hash this out. And then they go, we'll be right back. It's like, no, what are you doing, guys? I pay good money for these all live feeds. I think that's some of it. So they get good content that no one knows about. Think of Direfest this week this season. I still don't know what happened with Direfest. I'm going to have to talk to some of those folks and ask about wall yellers, ask about what happened while they were out there that we had so little content going on. But I think some of it's so they can get content for the TV episodes. Some of it, unfortunately, is just guest housemates misbehaving, singing or talking about production or talking about one of the things y'all don't, well, some of you may know, but we get called out for singing, humming, whistling, all that. You're not allowed to talk about production, as you know. So if you're talking about your diary rooms and things like that, they'll cut away as well. The other thing is you're not allowed to talk about people that haven't given you permission to talk about them. Before I went in the house, I had to get a whole bunch of people to sign off on confidentiality releases or something, basically saying they gave permission for me to talk about them while I was in the house. And if you don't have one of those and you start talking about, oh, my buddy John or whatever, and they don't have a release, they'll shut that down before you say something that could, I guess it exposes them to some kind of liability or something. So I think that could be some of it as well. But yeah, as far as I know, there's no quotas or anything. It's just them trying to protect the product a little bit, trying to protect us maybe. I don't know. A little bit of everything, Mark. All right, let's see. Imagine Sis on Rice. Yeah, Ma, I wasn't going to throw out any names, but that would be interesting to watch. Ma saying, invite Bowie on the show. We're going to do that. I had to take just a deep breath after doing Big Brother before I do anything else. But yeah, my brother Bowie, who was on The Apprentice, it'd be fun to get him on the. Bowie's 13 years younger than I am, so talking about kind of missing each other growing up a little bit and everything. I need to get him on the show and talk about the early days of reality TV. He's got a few stories about Donald Trump and Don Jr. and some of the people he met while he was in New York doing that show, and get him on board. Talk about that. Talk about what weird something is in the water that gets all these hog boys going on reality TV. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to do it, Ma. I just have to get a schedule worked out with him first. Cindy saying, would like to see a season of all winners of past seasons. I would too. And they kind of tried that with All Stars. The problem is with Survivor, you get 2 seasons a year. So what are they up to? Season 43 of Survivor. You've got a lot of people to pick from. Even if half those people didn't want to do it, you still have enough other people to work for. Big Brother, we've only had 23 winners, I guess. And the first season was a little different format. I guess Eddie's still out there somewhere, right? But we don't have as many people to pick from Big Brother to have a strictly winter season, because some of them have come right out and said, I'm probably not going to do it unless everyone says they're not going to do it. You throw enough money at people, I think most people at some point would say yes, but it would be harder to get just the winners. It'd be great. It'd be a lot of fun. You know, those Survivor, they did it, Winners at War and all that. We're not quite there on Big Brother, but close. I'm all for just pick only from the top 4 every season. I'm cool with that. Give me a call, CBS. But yeah, it would be fun to see because if you have all winners, because remember when it was All Stars, we only had two winners, I think, right? Nicole Franzel and Ian. So they went in thinking, well, we got targets on our back because we're the only winners in this house. Everyone else came close but didn't win it. If everyone who came into the house was either a winner or maybe even just a second place finisher or something, so pretty dang close. Yeah, I'd be curious to see who got targeted, who was able to float a little bit, and things like that. It'd be a lot of fun. All right, Bing Bong saying, Sammy told Mike that Jasmine looked in his back. Oh, yes, I did see that now. Yeah. You got to be careful. For those of you who don't know, one of the guys had a special immunity idol. And I don't want to give it all away, but it has special immunity. There was some question about how long the immunity actually lasts for. Is it only tribal councils that you participate in, or all tribal councils? And so while he's out fishing, I said in my review, I thought he was going to shoot himself in the leg with that spear gun. But while he's out doing some fishing, hang out on the beach, yes, someone looks through his bag, and it doesn't go well, apparently, according to the little teaser for next week. It's you got to be so careful of this game. Y'all remember last season, was it Mike, I think, that just got offended. He just took it personal that some people had been working against him, and he just kind of almost had a vendetta for a while. You never know how people are going to respond. And I was always worried about that in the Big Brother house. There's this talk about, why does everyone vote with the house? Why wouldn't you go ahead and just vote the way you want to vote and whatever? Well, because you don't know necessarily who's going to carry a vendetta and really come after you if they think that you voted against them, even though you absolutely knew that they were safe. You just never know. And yeah, based on that teaser, it looks like Gabler may not be so happy at the person who was looking into his bag, and may really carry a bit of a grudge as a result of it. As I watched that, all I could think was, all right, even no matter how close, comfortable you feel with someone, if you're doing something sneaky and someone else is watching you, that just gives them ammunition a little bit later on down the road to completely screw you over if they want to, right? And this is only episode 2. It's a 29-day Survivor season, so they've only been on this island for, 3 days or so? How can you trust anyone with your game with only 3 days into the season? It just seems like a big ask to do that. And it doesn't look like it works that well. Yeah, if I'm going to do something sneaky, I'm going to do it in private, do it on my own, rather than kind of reveal myself to anyone else unless I absolutely have to. And yeah, it looks like there may be some payback. Thank you for that. I knew I'd watched the teaser. I just couldn't remember what it was. I've slept since then. But yeah, I know it now. It's going to be fun Wednesday. I'm looking forward to it. Here's the thing. I don't know if I'll mention this right now while I'm thinking of it. Wednesday is going to be an interesting Survivor here in Houston for me and my family. We're actually going to a bar downtown Houston, a big open area thing. We're having a Survivor watch party. I mentioned a little bit last week, but I'll mention it some more now. Wendell Holland and Bryce Isaiah are hosting it. There's a whole lot of Ozzy's going to be there. Karishma's going to be there. Car Boudreaux is going to be there. Nick's going to be there. Reagan Fox from 2 seasons ago, last season, is going to be there. It's going to be a lot of Survivor folks. I'm going to represent Big Brother and hang out with everyone. So we're going to watch the episode, and then a whole lot of people that just show up and get in as well. So a lot, public and things like that. So we're all going to show up and watch Survivor together on the big screen. And I'm really looking forward to kind of seeing what their thoughts are and what they say as we go through the episode. So yeah, it's going to be fun. I love hanging out with the Survivor folks and just getting their input and their opinions when I watch them playing their game and see what they think about it. So yeah, if you're in Houston, check out Wendell or Bryce's Instagrams. I actually think they've got an account just for this event called Bryce and Win Present. All one word, spell that together. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, if y'all are in the Houston area, Texas area, come out. I'm going to be there repping Big Brother, but I'll be hanging out with all the Survivor folks. Danny McRae's going to be there, who was on Survivor, but he was also on the challenge and did pretty well on that. So Danny and his wife are going to be there. I'm looking forward. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. I've done one of the Survivor watch parties before in the past, and who was there? Uh, Karishma was there. Carl Boudreaux was there. Russell Hantz was there. I got some time talking to Russell Hantz, the ultimate villain of Survivor. And is he the ultimate villain? I'd put him right up there. I like Russell, but certainly the way he played the game, he would fit in the role of villain right up there with Jerry Matheny and maybe Richard Hatch and a few of the others. But yeah, I had a blast last time, so I'm looking forward to it again this time. All right, what else do we have? Mark saying, are you enjoying your sleep? You look relaxed. Yeah, you see the bags under my eyes are just about gone. These house guests, and I know I complain. Y'all probably tired of hearing it, but Big Brother, if I'm gonna keep doing these overnight feed recaps, they've got to make these house guests go to bed during the regular day, because otherwise they just stay up till 6, 7, every single night. I saw someone had posted in one of my last video recaps of Big Brother, said, I really enjoy this, but I liked it more a couple of years ago when you would post these at 6 o'clock in the morning so I could listen as I was getting ready to work and all that. And all I could think was 6 o'clock in the morning Houston time is 4 o'clock in the morning over in Big Brother world. They just are getting started. That's just the beginning of their morning over there, beginning of their night over there. They stayed up so late. Yeah, it was tough. It was hard. And I will admit there was a time or two where I was doing my best to watch these overnight feeds. And next thing I know, I've woken up. It's an hour later or so. I just drift off because it was the most boring conversations ever. When that happens, I have to quickly go into my computer, go back, take my viewer, backtrack, watch the conversations I missed, try to get caught up. It just makes for a lot more work when that happens. But yeah, it was hard watching it. So yes, thank you. I've enjoyed my sleep. It's been a nice little week, and yeah. As someone said, when do you ever sleep? Well, October. That's when I sleep, and here we are in October. So yeah, it was rather nice. All right, let's see. Amanda Slow saying, I'm so late. Welcome. Well, welcome, Amanda. And as always, if you missed out on the first part, you can watch it on repeat because it'll be sitting out. I don't know how long it takes to post. I think it's pretty quick afterwards. I think this live chat takes a little while before it gets posted. I don't know what they do. I guess they go in and make sure that none of us have said anything horrible out here. Something. I don't know. I don't have any control over it. It just pops up. But yeah, well, that's the beauty of Amanda, is you can always watch it a little bit later. So so welcome. Better late than never, right? All right, what else do we have? 7:53. What else can we talk about without getting into all kinds of detail just yet? Well, it's October. Y'all getting ready for Halloween? I mentioned Jake the Horror Movie Geek. Every time I see your login name, Jake, I just think of horror movies and all of that. I'm ready for it. Sharon and I actually are going to go to the drive-in, I think, at some point this month. There's one here in Houston, and we're going to go to the drive-in. They're showing scary movies all month long, so we may go. I'll give you all a little recap of that, but I know there's different channels. AMC always shows the scary movies. Walking Dead was on last night. I was such a huge fan of The Walking Dead when it came out. Man, Rick Grimes, Carl, everything about the original Walking Dead, I loved. It's a little tougher to watch it nowadays. I've gotten to the point where I realize I don't care if any of them live or die. Let them all get eaten by zombies at this point. It's not going to hurt my feelings any. It's not going to make me feel bad. It's just kind of, they need to just shut it down. Finish it up, move on to something else, because I don't enjoy it the way I used to. But y'all know me, those of you watch, I'm a huge zombie fan. The best movie ever, yeah, I'm not going to go that far, but Dawn of the Dead by George Romero, my top horror movie of all time. Anything else zombie, Train to Busan, some of the ones that have come out lately are perfect as well. So yeah, I'm all excited. The week of or the month of Halloween is always a lot of fun. I did watch an interesting movie. Now that we've got some free time on our hands, a movie called On the Beach, and it came out, I think, in the very early 60s. So it's black and white. I'm sure none of y'all have ever even heard of it, but it starred all kinds of famous people, Ava Gardner and Cary Grant, I think, a lot of people from that day and age. But one of the people that was in this movie was Anthony Perkins, who also played Norman Bates from Psycho. You talk about someone that's being typecast. I mean, Psycho was such an incredible movie. The whole time I'm watching it, and On the Beach is all about a nuclear war has killed everyone off in the northern hemisphere. The only people left alive in the entire world are down in Australia, and there's a cloud of radiation that's coming their way. So they only have a few months before it gets to them, and then the whole world goes poof. It's such a cheery topic, right? But yeah, that's the premise of the whole thing. But every time I watch Tony Perkins, I couldn't help but think about Norman Bates and him talking to people and trying to be sympathetic and just thinking, there you go, Norman. That's thought about typecast, but it's a great movie. If y'all haven't watched that, we watched that. We don't have time to talk about now. Maybe I'll talk about it next week. We've been trying to binge watch all the Marvel movies because we'd never watched any of them. So we started off at the very first one, which was that Iron Man, I think. We're up through like movie 21. Captain Marvel, I think, is the last one we watched. We're slowly making our way through it. We'll talk about that next week. So we've been having a lot of fun watching all those different movies as well. But October's Halloween month, so I'm maybe watching the scary movies for a little while. Cindy Hire saying, watched The Bad Seed last night. I've seen that movie, but I just can't remember what it's about. I'm a huge fan of the 70s kind of. I think The Bad Seed was probably the 80s, right? A little bit later, but I love those really cheesy 1970s movies that you see on the afternoon movies and all that. One of my favorites, talk about bad, Attack of the Mushroom People. And it's all about people who get stranded on an island. They start eating the mushrooms. As soon as they do, their hair starts growing out a little bit. And then it turns out it's not just their hair, it's their whole head. They start turning into mushroom people. And those are the fun. I was huge in the Godzilla flicks as a kid, King Kong, all those kind of movies from that time period. A lot of the Japanese. Is that horror movies? Maybe not horror so much as just monster movies, but I loved all of those. Japanese have some scary movies. The Ring. If y'all haven't seen The Ring, that's one of my right up there top 10, maybe top 5 all-time scary movies in the way I reacted to it. That scared the bejesus out of me. So yeah, maybe we need to do that next week. Y'all start throwing out some ideas, some suggestions, or think about it. Maybe we'll talk about it next Monday. What are y'all's scariest movies? I know I haven't seen them all. I want to get some of y'all's recommendations and see. And none of this gross stuff like Centipede and all. I want scary. That's what I want, the scary movies. Y'all think about it. Let me know. All right, guys. With that, I think we may just about shut it down. Patty's saying there's a second Bad Seed. All right, well, it's so much else. I got to put that on my list. There's some scary movies. I love to read the books. A lot of them, they're straight to movies, but The Shining, the Amityville Horror. So many scary books. Pet Cemetery. So many scary books I read as a kid, and then I watched the movie on it, and they're just as scary watching the movie as they are the book itself. So yeah, we're going to talk about all of those maybe next week. All right, what else do we have before we shut it down? I think that's probably about it. All right, 7:59. So we're going to call it good. Guys, before I shut it down, as I always do, just a reminder, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so, because now that Big Brother's over, who knows when I'm going to be dropping episodes and what shows I may be covering. So if you sign up, subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications, you'll find out whenever I drop something new. And while you're out there, if you want to hit the thumbs up, that's always appreciated as well. Y'all have a fantastic Monday. Enjoy this weather. Here in Texas, we only have a couple of weeks that's nice fall weather. We go straight from 120 degree summertime to 40, 50 degree wintertime. Well, we don't have a lot in between. So enjoy these next couple of weeks while you can. Get outdoors now that Big Brother's over. I'm going to be doing a lot of that as well. Y'all have a fantastic Monday night. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'll be dropping a new recap on Survivor probably Wednesday night. So we'll take care of that as well. Until then, guys, SKD 143. Love my wife, love my kids, love all of y'all as well. Y'all have a great Monday. See you later, guys. Bye. There we go.